Hello and welcome back. It's been a while, I know. Just been super busy lately. But now I got some good weather and I got a few more things in. Right now my main focus today is to take off these fuel rails to put on the fuel fittings on the back. Decided I'm going to do a very specific fuel setup, as you'll see coming up. But first I wanted to introduce you to the new stuff I got in. I don't know if I showed you guys yet. The turbo's in. That's how it kind of sits. Other side's not in all the way. I've got a Dirty Dingo 5-inch power steering pulley just so that I have some clearance in between the turbo and the pulley, and I'm glad that I did because I don't think a normal pulley, which is a little bit bigger, I think by 6 inches, would have fit. I also got the power steering pump and the reservoir right there. I'm going to be taking off this fuel line right here and redoing that. This was just kind of temporary, and it's like a normal braided hose, and I'm going to be redoing the braided hose with a new one which has like a blue tracer in it. It just looks a little bit nicer. Then I went to a local shop by the name of Deep's Garage, and I had them weld this male dash 16 fitting on so that I could put on this female to female dash 16 elbow, which goes into a radiator cap inline fuel filler neck. I ordered this fat lace radiator cap, but it doesn't fit. And then right here it goes into a dash 16 jegs fitting, and I did the same thing on the bottom. I have another male dash 16 fitting that was welded onto the thermostat housing that goes into another jegs fitting. This right here is the dash 16 hose. Here you can see the blue tracer that I was talking about. It's pretty nice. I feel it gives it more of a racy look, and it's kind of going to here. It's actually a really tight fit though, so I got to figure out this setup. I might have to change this fitting right here for like a 45-degree fitting or something. And then here, Deep's Garage also welded a V-band onto my throttle body. It's all aluminum, and then I had them weld this piece. From there, I will be doing the piping to the intercooler as well as the blow-off valve. Still not sure which blow-off valve to go with. If you guys have any suggestions, please let me know. Kind of torn between an HKS type, the super sequential, or a Greddy type RF. I would love to do the Greddy type S, but I feel that would just bring too much attention from cops, so I'm gonna probably not do that one. And then the last two things that Deep's Garage did is redo my piping for the turbo manifold so that the turbo sticks out straight ahead rather than an angle, and I had those V-banded as well. You can see the engine is still slightly tilted because the engine mount is not fully seated, but it points the turbo straight forward, which leaves some room here for the headlights, so I can delete the daytime running light, which is not being used on my car, and hopefully still be able to fit the headlight. We'll see. But anyways, I'm going to take off these fuel rails real quick and then show you the new stuff that I got yesterday. Alright, so it was just 4 screws that hook up to the manifold, and this whole assembly comes right off. So I haven't done this hose yet, but this is basically what the setup is going to be. I'm going to have the main fuel line coming from under the car, and I'm going to mount my Radium Auto fuel pressure regulator right here. And then from there, I'm going to have two fittings, two of the gold fittings, and they're connected at the front right here. The return is going to be underneath the fuel pressure regulator. So, one fuel line coming in to the fuel pressure regulator, which splits into two fuel lines to each fuel rail, and the return is here and goes back down. And the cool thing about it is if I wanted to, I can flip the fuel pressure regulator backwards and use the two inputs instead of outputs from a multi-pump setup, which I will probably do in the future. But for now, I'm going to have a single inlet, dual outlet fuel system. Don't know if I introduced you guys to my new intercooler. It's pretty big.